Hello and welcome back to Madman with a Box. I'm Oz Chris and I'm here with a review of Joy to the World, our 2024 Christmas special. Merry Christmas everyone. It's currently Boxing Day, which is when this episode released over here in Australia, so Merry Boxing Day. But I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. You've enjoyed the festivities. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays. If you don't celebrate holidays, have a very good Wednesday or Thursday. But yes, I'm here with a review of Joy to the World. I'm going to spoil probably all of it just to get my thoughts properly across. So if you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing? Just ignore the family, go away from Christmas dinner and just watch Doctor Who. Okay? Like, it's not that hard. Kidding aside. Yes, Joy to the World, starring Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor and Nicola Coughlan as Joy. So it centers around the Time Hotel and this briefcase. And the briefcase has a starseed in it, and it's used by Guard, a corporation we've heard of more recently in Boom. They want to use it as an infinite source of energy, but the problem is when the star is born, it will essentially destroy wherever it is, which is going to be Earth. Oops. Oops. The big corporation when there's collateral damage. Oopsie. My bad. My honor. Your honor. My client pleads. Oopsie daisy. But, yeah, that is essentially the basics of this episode. The Doctor trying to, stop this from happening. And what do I think of the episode? Okay, first off, what do I think of the episode? It's fine. It's okay. It's an okay episode with wholesome moments, which is what you want with a Christmas special. There has to be moments where it's wholesome. It's supposed to be a happy time of the year. You're with all your friends and your family and giving gifts to one another. It needs to be wholesome, which it is. Stephen does that very well with this episode, and how it all ties in together. We have the start of the episode where the Doctor is, the ham and cheese toasty with a pumpkin spice latte, going around to all these different people. You think it's just there for the gag, but a lot of them do come back, towards the end of the episode, so it all ties itself back together, and they all have their, little own happy endings. The character of Joy, she's billed as, the companion of the episode, but doesn't have much to do. I will say Joy is probably the weakest part of this episode, unfortunately. And she's like I said, she's the main one that's being she's alongside the Doctor, so she's the companion for the Christmas special. Because, sometimes, with a lot of Christmas specials, the Doctor will always have, a temporary companion. If he's not traveling with a companion at the time, he will always have this one-off companion. It's a guest star. You had Kylie Minogue, Voyage of the Damned. You had Michael Gambon in A Christmas Carol. All of that. So that's Joy's role in this, but she's not much of a presence. So that you don't get a lot from her, unfortunately. You actually get a bit more with the character Anita, who is the one that owns runs the hotel that Joy stays at. There's a really great scene, where the Doctor, he has to stay in 2024 for a whole year to bridge a bridge to do this whole loop, because he needs to get the code for the briefcase to stop it from killing Joy, from disintegrating her, and he meets a future version of himself who tells him the code, and the future version tells him he has to stay in 2024 so the loop stays, and eventually they will break it once he comes back to give his past self the code. But it also serves as a really good character growth moment for him, because a big part of this episode is that the Doctor is now by himself. He doesn't have Ruby, but he's still in the habit of when he's at the Time Hotel, when he arrives, he's holding 2 coffees, and the character Trev mentions is there someone else in there? You have two mugs, and he's oh, that's a habit. He's still he's lonely. He's, as usual, the Doctor needs a companion. He doesn't want to be lonely, and he's still kind of stuck in that whole, oh, I'm not traveling with someone, and I feel like I should be, and I kind of want to be. So we have this moment where the Doctor is trapped in 2024. He has to wait a whole year in order to, like, go back and give his younger self the code. It's a bootstrap paradox. You never know how the code is discovered. He just knows it because he heard his future self tell him it. But he spends this whole year with Anita, the manager of the Sandringham Hotel, and it's fantastic. It's really like a heartwarming, like wholesome moments, like between these two characters becoming friends, and then when he has to leave her because the year is up, it's actually very sad. I actually almost teared up between those two characters, like saying goodbye. Old Lang Syne, as they time long past. For old friends, it's like, it's so weird that I felt more for essentially a side character than I do for the main, like, temporary companion character. But she also still does have a really big moment with Joy, as when the Doctor is trying to break the connection between the briefcase and Joy, because the briefcase essentially takes control of someone in order to deliver the starseed to where it needs to go. And he has to really dig in deep and get under Joy's skin in order to break the connection. And then you find a bit about Joy, how she's always alone on Christmas because it was the day her mother died. Her mother died in 2024. It is heavily implied it was because of COVID, because she says, I couldn't visit her because of the rules. So you can obviously put two and two together. 2020 rules, it's COVID. But it's not in your face about it, which again, like I talk about, like the audiobook set Stranded does a really good, like, story centered around COVID, but not throwing it in your face. And this does the same thing. It's not really throwing in your face. It's like, remember COVID? Remember how bad COVID was and it just sucked for everyone? No, it doesn't do that. It's not even mentioned by name, but it's a big character moment for Joy, and it explains why she's always alone on Christmas. And the Doctor, he doesn't want to, but he has to use this against her to free her from the briefcase. It's a really, like, heartbreaking, like, moment. What more can I say? Actually, now that I think of it, there are some weird, almost jarring, like, moments between scenes, like when the briefcase leaves the Silurian and goes onto Joy, and the Silurian is dying. Every time the briefcase leaves someone, they die. The Doctor has this whole, like, no, hang on, you need to hang on, don't die. You're a Silurian, and you've been found. You're the original owners of Earth, and like all that, like, and you're here running the Time Hotel. That's amazing. You need to hang on, don't die. And he's very upset when it happens. But then the next scene, like, they open the case, and the case says, if this case isn't closed, it will kill whoever's attached to it in 20 seconds. And Joy's like, close it, I'm going to die. And the Doctor's like, oh, no, hang on, I need to figure this out. It's like, but he does eventually close it, but it's like, it's so almost jarring that you have the Doctor, like have this really emotional, sad moment with a dying Silurian. But when there's the possibility of Joy dying, he's just like, I'm curious. Hang on. I'll get to it in a moment. Like, I know the Doctor is, the curiosity of the Doctor will always be, like, one of their biggest undoings, depending on the episode and the story. But it just felt weird, like, you had that scene first, and it's followed by another one, which, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. Then we come to the end of the episode, and the starseed possesses Joy, and it doesn't want to be used by villain guard, so it goes off into space, becomes a star, doesn't destroy Earth, and it becomes the Star of Bethlehem because they're in Bethlehem, like at the birth of Jesus Christ. Like I think the Doctor does mention, like in this episode, it's like, oh, I always wondered why I could never get a room in that inn. Like I think that it's supposed to connect to that. But I felt like that whole thing with the starseed wasn't fleshed out. Like it almost comes out of nowhere that it's like, I don't want to be used by villain god and I don't want to destroy this planet, and Joy wants to be free and she'll be reunited with her mother. Like, okay, where'd this come from, mate? And then we have a little cameo by Millie Gibson as Ruby Sunday, and her cameo is it's in a scene where everyone that we've met before, when the Doctor's doing the whole like ham and cheese toasty and a pumpkin spice latte, like they're all looking at the star, they're all reinvigorated. There's hope, there's joy to the world now. And Ruby is one of these people, and she looks and she gets a phone call from her mum. Don't know which one. She says, "Hi, Mum." I really thought that it was going to be the Doctor that calls her, because a big point in this episode is that, again, the Doctor is alone, and he doesn't want to be, and he should be with his friends. So I really thought that, like, at the end of the episode, it's either he's going to call her, or very similar to, like, Doctor Wood in the Wardrobe, he goes and sees her. But no. And it's made even weirder by the fact that, like, after it's revealed that, like, this is Bethlehem, that's the Star of Bethlehem, you know, that guides the three wise men. I'm not very familiar with the Bible, but, like, it's that star that leads them to baby Jesus. Like, after that ends and it goes to credits, after the whole, like, Doctor Who will return, Millie Gibson is credited first. It goes Millie Gibson as Ruby Sunday, then it goes to the rest of the cast, the Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, like, Nicola Coughlan, Joy. It's so weird. It's like when when a new Doctor debuts in that episode and they do, like, introducing, like, this actor as the Doctor. They go first and then it goes, like, the rest of the cast, like the main cast and everyone else. So weird that, like, Millie Gibson is credited, like, by herself before everyone else, and she's a cameo. I don't know if that's an error, but it's just weird. It's just a weird thing that just happens. But yeah, other than that, like I said, it's a fine Christmas special. Has some wholesome moments, has some really good moments in it. Probably 7 out of 10. But that is it for this review. Thank you everyone for watching. What were your thoughts on Joy to the World? Leave them in the comments below. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video or in the new year. Happy New Year everyone, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Ciao.